You might say Kieren Perkins has the Midas touch. Gold, gold, gold has been the story of his young life. The sacrifices, the agony, and finally, that ecstasy we saw in Atlanta. Now, he certainly is an Australian hero, and we can't seem to get enough of him, smothering him in ticker tape and glory at every turn. Now, there's no doubt he is one of the fastest, most courageous swimmers ever. But below the surface, there's much more to Kieren Perkins than just medals and muscle. There is a certain magic that's worth much more than Olympic gold. If Kieren Perkins had been an Olympic athlete 2,000 years ago, then he may well have done his training at this stadium beneath the Acropolis on the Greek island of Rhodes.
Can you imagine yourself here?
No, it's difficult. I mean, there's no big hole in the middle where the pool's supposed to be.
Perkins is in this far-flung corner of the world for one last public appearance before a very well-earned holiday.
Do you like coming to places like this?
Oh, it's incredibly interesting. I mean, to get some sort of an idea of, you know, where the Olympics and everything about it all started, you know, stronger, higher, faster. I mean, these sorts of places are where it was all bred from.
And here, the 1,500-metre champion is pretty well anonymous. Here, no records to break, no screaming fans, and no autographs to sign.
Are you feeling like a hero?
I don't know if I'd say I feel like a hero. It's been interesting for me. Every time I turn around and speak to somebody, they've got an amazing story about where they were and the reactions.
I was at Maroochydore Airport.
Maroochydore Airport. Well, I mean, everyone I've spoken to either saw the race, heard the race, or at least knew what was going on at the time, and that to me is amazing. It's hard to comprehend.
There's Kieren. Look at the focus on his face. I mean, no one has more pressure on him.
He's part of that.
This is 5 seconds before the start.
Things are getting pretty tense. You're not really thinking. You just know what's coming up. You know what you've got to do.
Right.
But you're real nervous.
You're nervous.
Oh yeah. I mean, you stand there and you just feel your heart just beating against your chest.
On their blocks, Kieren rolling forward just a little bit. And they're away.
This is the first time Kieren has watched his gold medal winning race all the way through.
Looking at this first 25 metres, Kieren's going to do exactly what he's always done. He's taking it out hard.
Kieren Perkins has swum 1,500 metres much faster. But on this day in Atlanta, he was as fast as he needed to be.
Okay, there's 30 to 40 seconds to go here now. Were you excited? Was there something burning inside you?
Yeah, you do. You just know it's happening. You know, oh, I've got it. I can't believe it. I've got it. I was getting really excited at that point, and I think this is where I actually did at one stage think to myself, there's not someone in front of me, is there? No, it's all right. I've won. It's great.
Perkins goes in first. What a great win.
What made this victory so sweet was that it was such a dramatic reversal of form. He had only just scraped into the Australian team, and then, in Atlanta, it was touch and go whether he'd even make the 1,500-metre final. Not surprisingly, it was a very emotional moment for the 23-year-old and his girlfriend, Samantha Lou.
What a fantastic champion, Kieren.
Now, how long had you thought about doing this?
Oh, I hadn't. Probably if I thought about it, I probably wouldn't have done it. It was just one of those overwhelming moments when you're just so incredibly happy.
What a race.
Back home in Brisbane, Mum and Dad and younger brother Jared were just as happy, but perhaps more importantly, just as relieved.
Incredible, just incredible, Richard. It really was. I mean, it was so emotional. The lot of us, the three of us, were sitting here just crying. I mean, we just couldn't believe it.
Tears all around.
Do you bring tears to your eyes?
I don't know about tears to my eyes, but it brings a bit of a lump in your throat, and you do sort of get really, you know, happy. I probably get tears in my eyes more if I watch somebody else's triumph like that than my own. It's funny.
Borrow a few of mine.
I first met Kieren 4 years ago when he was preparing for the Barcelona Games. Then he was 18 and the red-hot favourite to become Olympic champion. But 4 years is a long time, and early this year, Kieren was looking decidedly beatable. He had been sick, he was having problems with his technique, and he had myriad corporate commitments to attend to. But he didn't lose his nerve and didn't lose that almost arrogant confidence that seems to be so necessary now for elite athletes.
Were you a better swimmer when you were 18 or now, when you're 22, 23?
I think I'm a better swimmer now. I'm a smarter swimmer now. I mean, Kieren Perkins at 18 wouldn't have won the Atlanta Olympic Games in that situation.
Well, here's a really naive question. I mean, 14:41's the best time you've done for the 1,500 metres. Why were you 15 seconds, a full quarter of a minute slower in Atlanta?
One of those things, I'm getting old maybe.
That's my answer.
Oh, look, different years, different situations. I mean, my preparation for Atlanta was not good. I mean, I wasn't fit by any stretch of the imagination. And I think that I swam probably the best time that I could have swum on the day, given the preparation that I'd had.
Will you ever do 14:41 again?
Oh, sure. It's not out of my reach. I think, you know, this year and the last 18 months or so has been a really big learning experience for me. There's been a lot of changes in my life, a lot of things that I've had to come to terms with.
Kieren Perkins is now a poised, confident young man with a bright future, and he's not shy when it comes to displaying his success.
Now, tell me about these diamonds you're flashing.
Oh yeah, the Olympic ring here.
Let me have a look.
I got this made by a jeweller here in Brisbane. It's sort of a bit of a tradition amongst the swimming team to get an Olympic ring made.
Diamonds all over it.
Yes, there's 11 diamonds for the world records that I've broken.
11 world records.
11 world records.
And what's all the space around the bottom for?
Oh, just a few more. We've got to leave room for more.
It's been pretty much life in the fast lane since the Australian team arrived back from Atlanta. And Kieren Perkins has been in the vanguard as the victors have stormed their way across the country. Today the parade is in Brisbane, Kieren's hometown, and he gets the kind of attention usually reserved for a visiting head of state. Everyone wants the golden boy with the Midas touch.
When I spoke to you just before going to Barcelona 4 years ago, you said that you hoped that there might be a pot of gold at the end of it all. Is there?
I wouldn't say there's a pot of gold. There is gold there, but you've got to work just as hard for the gold out of the water as you do for the gold in the water.
That is unbelievable.
And when it comes to sponsors, well, immediately after the 1,500 metres in Atlanta, barely puffing and composed as could be, he managed to mention each and every one of them by name.
My sponsors, Uncle Toby's Eyeline, National Dairy, Saab. You guys, couple of
That was a gold medal performance too. No wonder he commands top dollar for his services.
The cold hard truth of it is that my popularity is only going to be there for a finite period of time, and I've got to make the most of it while I can. I've just got so much on now, you know, with all the commitments that I have with appearances, sponsors. I mean, you name it. There's somebody out there who wants to get their pound of flesh, and you know that's my industry now. That's what I do.
He's the very best in the world at what he does, so why shouldn't he reap a few rewards and indulge in the occasional extravagance?
How often do you get out here?
Barring little inconveniences like a month away at the Olympics or anything like that, I'm at least every fortnight out on the water. That's great.
What happens when you push that big black thing forward?
Oh, well, that's when we take off.
Let's go.
That's the way I like it.
When Perkins' career hiccuped earlier this year, many, perhaps even most, were writing him off. A has-been, And at such a young age too. Perkins failing was almost better media copy than Perkins winning.
I have close friends who tell me all the time, that there was people that they know, that, people at work, whoever, that was saying, no, Perkins is done for, he's all finished, and those people today are going, oh, I knew he could do it, and it's true, I mean, they're all around, but those people don't bother me. It's only the people who are close to me that that I really worry about.
So you're not a sensitive soul? I mean, you don't feel the pinpricks of the media when they get nasty?
No, not really. The media don't bother me.
What, you mean this sort of stuff didn't hurt?
No, not at all. Whoever wrote that would Wayne Smith, of course. Well, and I spoke to that particular journalist after the race, and he told me, he said that he'd written me off, thought I couldn't do it. And,
you go up and go,
yeah, and I just sat there and smiled and said, well, you're the fool, aren't you? And it's true.
And did you feel good telling him?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Call it sweet revenge if you like, but Perkins is the one who's over here in Greece, soaking up the sun and being paid for it, whilst those newspaper stories are being used to wrap up yesterday's rubbish. Anyway, they say these water scooters are unsinkable, although girlfriend Samantha and I tried. 4 years ago, just before Barcelona, I mean, he was a big figure and growing. Then he won Barcelona and he became very big. But now, I mean, you must say, even choosing your words carefully, he's close to huge.
Oh, is
I
he?
don't know about that.
Oh, huge, I don't know.
Not to his brother.
Don't you tell him
Just
that,
the
will
brother.
you, whatever you do.
Thank you, thank you. My luggage is somewhere between Australia and here, and hopefully, I'll get it before my month's holiday is over, but at least I'll be well dressed wherever I go. So thank you.
Kieren is in Rhodes for a one-night stand as a surprise guest at a dinner in a medieval castle organised by the Lend-Lease Company.
And negativity is a great distractor. It's a great destroyer of a person's motivation and ability to perform at their best level.
Lend-Lease is already a successful Australian company, so it says heaps about Perkins that they look to this young man for inspiration and motivation.
I guess most people associate motivation and goal setting and those sorts of things with sport, not with business, where it's just as important in business.
But you're becoming a bigger figure now than just a good swimmer.
That's true, and that's what I hope is happening, because I need money to live. Everybody does, I've got to earn an income, and to earn an income I have to have that image outside of the pool, because there's no money in the sport of swimming itself.
If you're looking for Kieren and Samantha in the next month or so, don't bother. They'll be way out of circulation.
Thank you very much indeed.
And what next for this favourite Australian son? He is, as they say, contemplating his future. And some future it promises to be.
You're 18 just before Barcelona, 22 just before Atlanta. What are you going to do when you're 26?
Turned 27 just after Sydney. In the interview after the race, I was asked if I was going to win in Sydney, and my reply was, well, if I can win here, I can win anywhere. And there is that feeling that I went through so much in the lead up to Atlanta and I overcame that I think that I could go on and I could win in Sydney if that was what I wanted to do.